anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol because you'll never take back our country with weakness.
Donald Trump is doing something crazy. And no, it's not chilling with his boy Jeff. Even that is also crazy. But this time, it's something totally different and might even be goated. Take a look at this graph that shows Donald Trump's net worth from 2014 to 2026. In his first time of being in office, his net worth fell from $3.5 billion to $2.5 billion. However, pay attention from 2024 to 2026, his second term in office. His net worth jumped from $2.3 billion to $6.5 billion. That's a $4 billion increase, which is wild. Because how does a president who earns $400,000 annually get a net worth boost of over $4 billion within 2 years of being the president? For context, if you earned $400,000 annually, it will take you 10,000 years to make that amount. But despite the crazy figures, no questions of corruption has been raised by relevant authorities. And it just keeps going. So has Trump hacked the ultimate money-making glitch? And how does this scheme work? My name is Simon and welcome to Simon Yaps. For us to understand the business strategy, we need to understand Donald Trump.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
Not that side, his business side. The man who moved from working for his father's real estate company to becoming a symbol for entrepreneurial success. From building the Trump Tower to opening so many big business ventures and appearing in TV shows like Home Alone, WWE, and being a star in the hit show The Apprentice. The Trump name gained a crazy amount of fame while being associated with financial excellence. By 2015, Forbes listed his net worth at about $4.5 billion. But that wasn't enough success for Trump. In that same year, he was in the spotlight again, this time not for entertainment, but for politics. Although we can say he entertained us pretty well.
What was that? Is that a dog? It's Hillary.
Against a lot of people's expectations,
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
Donald Trump will never be elected president of the United States.
he actually did it, defeating Hillary Clinton in 2016. But becoming the president proved detrimental to his finances, as his new position restricted how much he could do. Additionally, the COVID-19 lockdown dealt his business a huge blow. By the end of his first term, his net worth fell to $2.5 billion. However, this dip in fortune might have given Trump new ideas. And yes, business Trump was back in the driving seat. It seemed like during the years he had to sit and watch his opponents take over his presidency, he perfected the ultimate money-making scheme ever seen. And by 2024, his plan was already in motion. Now, here's how the scheme works. Donald Trump has learned long ago that his name could be sold like a product. During his apprentice years, the Trump name stood for money, gold, and success. So businesses paid to place it on towers, hotels, golf clubs, and resorts. That was licensing in simple terms. A company paid a fee just to use the name. When Trump returned to power, the same name became even more valuable. Because the Trump deal wasn't only about branding anymore, it was a path to favor. After the January 6th attack, the PGA of America took the 2022 championship away from Trump's National Golf Club Bedminster, saying the course could hurt the PGA brand. Then Saudi-backed LIV Golf came in and held events at Bedminster instead. What looked like a loss turned into a new opening. From there, the Trump brand spread deeper into the Middle East. Saudi developer Al Akran signed a deal to use the Trump's name on a $4 billion Oman project with a golf course, hotel, and villas. The exact money terms were not fully public, but later estimates put the Trump family gains from the project at about $105 million. At the same time, Trump-branded real estates were being built through partnership deals in Saudi Arabia and Oman, which shows how far the name has traveled. The money-making scheme, however, becomes clearer when we bring Vietnam into the picture.
Approximately 100 meters away from it now.
The money-making scheme, however, becomes clearer when we bring Vietnam into the picture. In May of 2025, the Trump Organization and its partners broke ground in Hanoi on a $1.5 billion resort with 3 18-hole golf courses and about $5 million in licensing fee going to the organization. Vietnamese authorities had already approved the project, even while trade talks with the US were still moving. Not long after, Trump lowered the threatened tariff rates on many Vietnamese exports from 46 to 20%. That made the whole deal feel less like normal business and more like leverage. Then there's Melania. Amazon MGM financed that documentary at $75 million, including $14 million to license the film and documentaries, and $35 million for marketing and distribution. Reports suggest that Melania could pocket about $28 million from this deal. But what's in it for Amazon MGM? Well, the owner, Jeff Bezos, has reasons to stay close to the administration since Blue Origin was and is still chasing more government contracts. In total, Trump has made over $400 million from licensing deals since 2024. But that's just a little fraction of the scheme. So in a bid to stay on Trump's good side, a lot of deals have been struck to enrich him. And just like the licensing scheme, the next scheme sounds crazy. If you're still watching, you definitely what the channel is looking for. Trying to get monetized before the end of the year so you can afford better equipment to create better videos. By clicking the like and subscribe button, you don't just stay in the loop for future videos, you help us grow and make the best content we can. Yeah, thank you.
Ago that President Trump is officially suing the BBC for $5 billion.
After Trump returned to the White House, lawsuits became another source of income for him. The pattern was simple. Sue a company, then the company would decide between paying, which was safer, and fighting the president with power over regulation, contracts, and public pressure. That made lawsuits feel less like normal court fights and more like another way to cash in. One of the first big examples came in December 2024 when ABC News agreed to pay $15 million towards Trump's future presidential library to settle a defamation case over George Stephanopoulos' on-air comments.
Asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape.
That deal set a tone. In 2025, the pattern became bigger. Meta agreed to pay $25 million after Trump sued over the suspension of his Facebook and Instagram account following January 6. Soon after, X, company owned by his sweetheart Elon Musk, settled for about $10 million over the same kind of suspension case. These were huge payments, and they showed just how even giant tech companies could decide that paying Trump was safer than fighting with him. By the end, the total from these lawsuits were already climbing fast. Then the pressure spread to television. In July 2025, Paramount agreed to pay $16 million to settle Trump's lawsuit over CBS's 60-minute interview with Kamala Harris. A few months later, YouTube agreed to pay $25 million in its own settlement over Trump's post-January 6 account suspension. The story was no longer about one case. It was about a system where repeated legal threats turned into cash. In total, lawsuits brought in about a $500 million net worth boost for Trump's coffers. However, the money from lawsuits is just a tip of the iceberg when it comes to trying to get on Trump's good side. In May 2025, Trump accepted a Boeing 747 from Qatar's royal family for use as Air Force One, a plane described as one of the most valuable gifts ever offered to the US government. Unfortunately for future presidents, Trump plans to take the gifts from Qatar with him after the presidency, and he seems to acknowledge that it will change how he will treat the country.
It was a gesture because of the fact that we have helped and continue to. We will continue to.
This makes the jet look less like a simple present and more like another pricey asset tied to his second term. The move, as expected, drew backlash because the constitution bars foreign gifts to US officials, and critics say the jet could open doors to influence from Qatar. However, it wasn't where the gifts came from that made it louder, but the numbers. The jet is widely valued at about $400 million, but experts warn that bringing it up to Air Force One security standard could cost hundreds of millions more, with estimates going over $1 billion, which means the gift is a major asset either way. By the end of the deal, the message was clear. In Trump's second term, even free jets could become part of the family's growing pile of wealth, and also the importance of the Persian Gulf. Yeah, they are key players in this scheme in case you haven't noticed. This scheme starts long before Trump's second term. For years, he treated the Persian Gulf like a place where the Trump name itself could be turned into money. AP reported that he had booked hotel rooms and meeting spaces to the Saudis, sold them an entire floor in his buildings, and even in hard times, sold his yacht and the plaza to Saudi buyers. That history matters, because it shows the next step wasn't random at all. After Trump left the White House in 2021, Jared Kushner took the same kind of network and built affinity partners. House records say the Saudi Public Investment Force put in $2 billion, and the fund was set up to earn steady management fees even before any big profits arrived. Senate investigators later said Affinity Partners had already collected about $157 million in fees from foreign clients, including $87 million from Saudi Arabia. A later filing also showed the fund growing to $4.8 billion after more money came in from Qatar's sovereign fund and Abu Dhabi. In other words, the real wasn't just the investment, it was the fee stream. Then Trump returned to power and the pattern got even clearer. According to AP, Trump's organization did 0 foreign deals in his first term, then 8 foreign deals a little over a year into his second term in office. In Qatar, a Trump golf club and villa moved forward with help from a company owned by the Qatari government. In Saudi Arabia, a planned Trump plaza rose with developers close to the ruling family. The family wasn't just selling buildings anymore, it was leasing the Trump brand itself, and that makes the whole operation look less like a one-time deal and more like a money-making machine. In summary, Donald Trump has made about $100 to $300 million from just being friends with the Gulf countries. But if you do the math, that's just $1.6 billion. What about the rest? Well, that's where the big two come in. After Trump was banned from Twitter and Facebook in 2021, rather than step away from the spotlight, he built his own stage. That move became Truth Social. Launched in early 2022, under Trump Media and Technology Group, the app was small, but it gave Trump something bigger than users: control. By choosing it as his main platform, he turned every post into a free promotion for the Trump name, and the press had to repeat it every single time he spoke.
President Trump just posted a lengthy Truth Social post.
May just as well be breaking news here because the president just deleted a Truth Social post with.
Although Truth Social began with a glitchy launch, he still struggled to grow past a modest audience. Yet, it remained tied directly to Trump's public image. And that is what made the deal smart. It wasn't built to beat Facebook or X, it was built to keep Trump central. When Trump Media went public in March 2024, the stock jumped hard, with Trump's stake quickly becoming worth $5.2 billion at one point. Company's value moved more on hype, loyalty, and political attention than on normal business numbers, which is why experts call it a meme stock. Even with low revenue and losses, the platform keeps gaining value, because Trump keeps using it as his all-caps megaphone. Well, with Trump back in the White House, his plan is working in a simple way. His name keeps the platform in the news, investors keep watching, and he keeps making more money. Analysts put his net worth boost from Truth Social at about $1.3 billion, showing how a small size could become a big money tool when the brand is the real product. But this is still small compared to his biggest money printer. After January 6, 2021, Trump's money world changed fast, with Capital One shutting down more than 300 Trump Organization accounts, while Deutsche Bank also cut ties after the Capitol attack. But this wasn't going to end the Trump brand. Instead, it pushed it into a new lane where his name itself could keep making money. From there, the crypto scheme began to look less like a hobby and more like a plan. Trump Media teamed up with Crypto.com to push crypto ETFs, with Trump's family leaning hard into digital assets as Trump returned to power. In March 2025, something that would shake the financial world happened. At the crypto conference in the UAE, a state-backed Abu Dhabi firm said it would use the World Liberty Finance stablecoin for a $2 billion Binance deal. And soon after, the Trump administration reversed all Biden-era limits. In return, the US gave the UAE access to advanced US chips. Critics saw that as a likely overlap of business and policy. Then came the coins that made the whole thing explode. Trump's Trump meme coin launched just before his second inauguration. At its peak, it went from $10 to around $70 before it fell again. But by early May, it had already brought in more than $320 million in fees. Melania Trump's coin added $65 million more, and later reportings put the pair earnings at about $385 million. The price swing didn't stop there. When the coin cooled off, Trump tried to revive it by offering dinner for the top 220 holders and a White House store for the top 25, which helped push the price back to above $15. The big buyers kept showing up because Trump's name itself was the product, and by mid-2025, it was reported that Trump's crypto ventures had already made him $1.8 billion and counting. So, while some might say Trump's net worth boost should be seen as corruption, one thing that cannot be denied is how Trump has used his identity and brand to pull off what could be seen as the greatest quick money scheme of all time. If you enjoyed this video, I bet you enjoyed either of these two videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.